I'm free! I'm finally free! I've finished being a teacher forever and ever, if I've got any say in the matter.
Libérée, délivrée, je n'enseignerai plus jamais. Libérée, délivrée, c'est décider plus du gré. J'ai laissé mes ailes dans le passé, perdu dans la grammaire. Tant pis, c'est le prix de ma liberté.
I don't want to give the impression that I hated being a teacher, because a lot of the time it was really good. My last day at school was brilliant. Hearing how much the students had valued me, I got so many letters from them which were just adorable. I nearly cried several times during that day. No less than 3 different kids had looked up British recipes for baked goods and brought them in. A 12-year-old French boy made scones. You don't know how happy that made me. And throughout the year too, I had some amazing experiences with my students, and I do feel like I've taught them a lot. If nothing else, everyone I have taught this year now knows that Wales is a country. I also feel like I've learnt a lot. I've learnt a lot about how to improvise, a lot about how to manage time. I've learnt a lot about France. The cultural exchange between me and my students was massively useful for me. However, I did start this video by saying I don't want to be a teacher in the future. And the reason why is that as a teacher, so much of what you are attempting to do is governed by the class in front of you. And I just found that exhausting. I taught from age 11 up to age 15. And for them, English is a compulsory subject. None of them have opted for English, they have to do it. So I completely understand why they might not be interested in what I was saying, why they didn't want to engage sometimes. But you know, it is difficult, particularly for me as a foreign language assistant. I'm trying to share with them my language and my country and my culture. You know, it's really discouraging to have them just throw that back in your face. The other thing I'm not strong enough to deal with was the sort of lack of personhood that being a teacher sort of inherently gives you. That sounds dramatic and exaggerated, so in order to illustrate this I am going to have to get serious, I'm afraid, and I am going to have to discuss rape culture. So if that's triggering to you, I suggest you close this video. So throughout the year I kept a running tally of the best/worst reasons I had for sending a pupil out. For a long time it was this student who kicked the computers. My room was a computer room. He just kicked 2 of the screens. That was surpassed by the one of the times, when a student sexually harassed me. What he did, he was wearing a hoodie with one of those kangaroo pockets. So he got a handful of pens and he put his hand into his pocket and he pretended he had a boner, and he sat back with his legs spread and went, "Ah, miss, look what you do to me." He wasn't doing this to hurt me. He wasn't doing it because he was genuinely sexually attracted to me. He's 13, for goodness sakes. He was doing it to gain social status. I would just like to ask what sort of a bloody world we live in where the way for him to gain social status was to sexually harass another human being. In recent months in the YouTube community it has been revealed that certain very prominent members of this community were guilty of various types of sexual abuse and emotional abuse. If you are unaware of that, those people are Tom Milsom, Alex Day, Alex Carpenter, Luke Conard, Adam Roach, Danny Hooper, Corey Vidal and Tom McLean. In the past there's also been Kelly Montoya, Ed Plant, too many people. I've put a link in the description to the most comprehensive master post of victims' testimony. We live in a rape culture, and that's so widespread that a 13-year-old sees it as the way to become cool. That was the most extreme example of me feeling like I'd lost my personhood, but it happens a lot in other different cases, ranging from that down to the most tiny things. Talking in class. If you take that out of a class perspective, I'm talking and people are ignoring me, and that's hurtful. Do you see what I mean? I might gain respect in terms of I could give you detention, but I lose respect in terms of I am a person. That said, the negatives don't take away from the positives this year, and I've had some brilliant experiences with my kids, including, you know, the time that we did the weather as a lesson, and I drew a massive map of the UK on the blackboard, and I got them to present the weather in English, and we had some interesting forecasts. Like, I seem to remember someone saying that in Cardiff it would rain ice cream. I learned to live for moments like that. And yes, I do feel that overall this whole experience was definitely worthwhile, and I would do it again. I now have just under 2 months until my flight back to the UK. If you have the chance to do a year abroad as part of your university courses, I think you should do it, because I think whether or not the whole thing is enjoyable, it will always come out as worthwhile. Goodbye, internet.